Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the upper torque mount or motor mount on a Pontiac Fiero GT. Let's get started.
What you'll need to do is you have two 15mm bolts holding it in place. So you have to remove the nuts and then pull those through. For this one here on the trunk side, you have this panel, and if you just take a flathead screwdriver, we can pry that off so that way we can access the nut in there to take that off. So let's go ahead and open that up and take a look at that. There we go. And there you can see right in here, there's the nut. So we have to take that off and then we can slide that out. So first thing we have to do though is support the engine so it doesn't shift.
All right, the method that I use, and before I get a ton of comments from people saying that's the wrong way to do it, let me stress that I am not lifting the engine by doing it this method. This is strictly just to support the engine. The other mounts are still in place. But what I do is I like to take a hydraulic jack with a long piece of wood, so that way you're not going to puncture through the oil pan, but a long piece of wood that goes beyond the corners. That way you've got the support of the corners of the oil pan. And I'll put a little bit of a towel or something, that way it doesn't scar anything up. But I'll take that hydraulic jack with that board and just put it up against the oil pan to support that. That way when I take off the torque mount, or on other vehicles like the motor mounts or any of the top mounts, it won't shift. But once again, like I said, I'm not using this to lift the engine or anything like that where there's a lot of strain on that oil pan. I've been doing this for years, this method, unless you want to use a cherry picker to actually, hoist the engine up, which I don't have right here at the time. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this method just to hold it in place. So let's go underneath and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
There's the oil pan, and you can see I have a thick board up against the hydraulic jack, because if you go directly with the jack, then you are going to have problems. You're going to wind up punching right through that and making a big mess. So if you take a board, and you can see I've got the corners covered by that board, so that way the support is balanced on the structural corners. And then I have a towel on there as well, that way it's not damaging the oil pan and causing it to rust. So that's how we're going to do it. So we're holding it in place now so we can go up top and we can remove that torque mount. Okay, here's how we're going to do it. I have a 15mm socket on a ratchet on this end. And actually this particular bolt is not a 15. This one here is actually a 14. Whether that's factory or not, I don't know, because this car is a 1986, so it's gone through different hands, so I don't know if anyone has changed this before and just didn't put the right size. But on this particular one, you got a 15mm bolt and a 14mm nut. So what I have, and you can see right there, I have this wrench lodged up against this metal framing here to give me that resistance. That way then I can just take the socket here and I can break that connection to loosen that. So let's go ahead and take that off. This one here was extremely tight, so what I did is I connected it to a breaker bar with an extension to go underneath these vacuum lines. So now we can go ahead and turn that. There we go. And then now we should be able to switch over to the ratchet. Here we go. Take the other one off now. For this one here, we've kind of done an opposite. I have the wrench lodged up here against this metal framing, and then I have the ratchet on the inside of this opening. That way, there we go. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, you can see this thing is completely shot. I mean, this is a mess. So definitely in need of being replaced. So we're going to go ahead now and get the new one in and get that connected, and that should take care of everything. Okay, the new torque mount is in place. Just need to go ahead and bolt it in, and we're good to go.
Well, this wraps up our video on how to change out the upper torque mount on a Pontiac Fiero GT. I hope this video helped you out. Just something to keep in mind, these are actually hard to come by because this car is actually pretty old. You're looking at over 30 years right now. And they're hard to get. A lot of times auto parts stores don't stock them. You have to order them, or you can try to get them online. They can be expensive. So another option, which was not covered in this video, that'll be for another video, is that if you do have one that has to be replaced, you can actually get an extracting tool. You can rent them from auto parts stores if you don't have one, and you can remove the inner bushing here and then just get the bushing kit and put a new one in. That's another option. Like I said, we'll cover that in another video. So for now, that wraps up this video. Please send any questions, comments. As always, I like to hear from you. I love your support. So please continue to subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'm constantly posting new content, and we'll see you next time.